We will begin our session a little bit late since the chief judge has a problem to it. He will arrive later. Thank you.
Good morning and welcome to the judges, teachers, guests, and participants of First 2026. Now I'd like to introduce our judges today. The Chief Judge is Dr. Ilham Binti Ismail, Senior Lecturer, Institute Aminuddin Baki, Kedah. The second judge is Ms. Nur Zafarini binti Nur Rizwan from SBPI Kuwang Pasu, ICOOPS. The third judge is Ms. Fakrani binti Abdurrahman from SMAP Labu. And I, Siti Zulaika binti Ahmad Nazim from Sekolah Menengah Sains Tuanku Said Putra, while the timekeepers Nur Aminah Raisha binti Ahmad Kamal and Zafri Muaz bin Zanki Maudidi are from Akademi Sains Pendang, Kedah. Now, allow me to read the rules. Each team should consist of presenters and a technical assistant. The presentation must focus on a sub-theme assigned to the team. The duration of the presentation should not be more than 10 minutes. The bell will be rung once at the 9th minute and twice at the 10th minute. A question and answer session will be conducted after each presentation. Now, I would like to invite the first team, which is Sekolah Menengah Agama Persekutuan Kajang. Please welcome.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to the honorable judges, respected lecturers, fellow participants, and everyone present today. Before we begin, I'd like to ask everyone a simple question. When you hear the phrase quality education, what comes to your mind? Most people immediately think of excellent grades, top universities, or advanced technologies in classrooms. But today, we'd like to invite everyone to look beyond academic achievement.
SDG4 is often associated with providing access to education. But if we look really closely, it is not really about getting children into classrooms. It is about ensuring quality education, one that equips children with knowledge, skills, values, and emotional resilience needed to thrive throughout life. My name is Sharifani Halridan binti Wan Isham, together with my teammates Alia Zahirah binti Amirul Hafiz and Muhammad Hanzalah bin Muhammad Muslim, under the guidance of Madam Aisha. Together, we are representing Federal Islamic Secondary School of Kajang to present our symposium entitled IQ and EQ in Holistic Childhood Development.
Today, we will be discussing emotional intelligence in holistic child development, an issue we believe deserves greater attention in Malaysian education. And to help us understand this better, Nihal, would you like to explain what holistic child development actually means?
Thank you, Alia. That is a very important question because when we hear holistic, many people think it simply means learning more subjects. However, it is far beyond academics. Holistic childhood development is the key approach teachers should use to improve intellectual growth, physical health, emotional strength, social skills, creativity, and moral values. Holistic childhood development ensures that students are able to succeed both academically and in life. Now imagine a classroom full of tablets, AI powered tools, and smartboards. Doesn't that sound very impressive? However, however, let us think more carefully. If a child gains straight A's but is struggling to cope with emotions, to communicate with others, and to show empathy, can we really call that child future ready? That is the concern behind our research.
Anecdotal evidence shows that early childhood care and education (ECCE) centers focuses more on IQ than EQ. Because of this, many children may not fully develop important life skills such as managing emotions, building confidence, and communicating with others. As these children grow up, they still struggle with stress, motivation, learning independently, and communicating with others. This may affect their studies and their future. This is the main objective why we conducted this research. Our preliminary survey shows that the majority of our friends started kindergarten at the age of 4 and attended private kindergarten. This motivated us to see if ECCE centers focuses on IQ and EQ with the whole to ensure the holistic child development is developed.
Therefore, our study focuses on three main research objectives.
Firstly, we plan to identify how holistic childhood development is implemented in early childhood education.
Second, by identifying challenges, we can have a better understanding of the barriers that educators are facing in nurturing holistic personalities.
Lastly, we aim to identify practical solutions in order to implement holistic childhood development as a whole. From these research objectives, one question immediately came to our mind: Can strengthening emotional intelligence actually bring a difference to children's lives?
The answer to that question is yes. Many studies show that EQ helps children with their emotions to become independent at a young age and to cope better with problems. However, there's still limited research on how teachers can use EQ to support independence and overall development. This is what inspired our study.
We adapted a qualitative approach where we conducted observations, interviews, surveys, and document analysis in order to gather different perspectives.
So, what did we actually discover?
One idea immediately stood out.
Academic achievement continues to gain the best attention, meanwhile, EQ often gets treated as second priority.
Yet, research consistently shows that EQ plays a major role in children's leadership, resilience, communication, and lifelong success. EQ hasn't been given the enough focus compared to other successful developing countries, such as Australia, based on veterinary education, and Japan, who has implemented Society 5.0. In addition, insufficient teachers training make in addition, insufficient training for teachers and educators has become a significant barrier to how holistic childhood development has been implemented in early childhood education.
In addition, disparities in educators' qualifications and difference in teaching backgrounds contributes on how EQ is delivered across ECCE centers.
Our findings raise our concerns. Me and my teammates faced a devastating point where kindergarten did not follow the standard qualification regulation where a kindergarten hired an underage foreigner as an educator.
During the interview, the students were unable to respond, therefore shows a weaker development in empathy, self-esteem, awareness, and emotional regulation skills. At this point, the findings may sound quite worrying.
But in every challenge presents an opportunity.
Thankfully, we didn't only stop at identifying challenges.
So I would like to invite my teammate Hanzala to propose our solutions.
Thank you to Alia and Yahal for the nice presentation just now. Every challenge has a solution, and with careful effort and commitment, real improvement can be achieved. To improve holistic personality development, several steps can be taken. Firstly, ECC Center should give equal importance to both EQ and IQ in the curriculum and daily activities. Secondly, regular monitoring should be carried out to ensure these practices are implemented consistently. In addition, teachers should be encouraged to join training and professional development programs through incentive. Finally, more training and stronger implementation of holistic education should be provided to support children's balanced development. Before we end our presentation, let me take a moment to summarize the main findings of this study and highlight its implication in early childhood education. In conclusion, This study shows that EQ and IQ should be given equal importance in early childhood education. Policymakers, educators, and ECCE stakeholders should strengthen education policies, provide teacher training, and ensure the holistic personality development is implemented effectively in all ECCE centers.
However, this study was conducted only in selected ECCE centers. Therefore, we cannot see the overall ECCE settings in Malaysia. Limited time and data also affected our study.
For future research, more ECC centers in different parts of Malaysia should be included. Future studies can also examine the long-term effect of EQ-focused education in early childhood education. Lastly, education is not only about developing intelligent minds, but also kind and caring hearts.
Before we end our presentation, I would like to wrap it up with one quote. Children are not things to be molded, but are people to be unfolded by Jess Lair.
Let this study be a reminder that the future depends on educating the mind, the heart. We want future leaders who can use technology responsibly, who can use technology ethically, and who can use technology with an empathetic mind. That's all from us. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Now I would like to invite the judges to ask questions.
Okay, Assalamualaikum. First of all, congratulations for the good job. All right, of presenting your research. Okay, my question is simple actually. Okay, looking at your research title, you have focused on child development. So this makes me think about the team and sub-team of the competition, which focus on youth. So we know that youth, okay, are those between 15 to 30 years old. Betul? So I'm curious, why did you decide to study on child development rather than focusing on what is current? And I'm also curious about, uh, you mentioned teenagers and children, preschool children, teenagers and educators in selected ECCCE centers. How are they there? What are they doing in those centers, teenagers? What are their roles?
Well, the main point of the research why we chose early childhood education, because we thought if early childhood education is like the base to the future, to like if we implement the EQ from an early age, that's what's going to contribute in how they would act as a youth, how would they act as a teenager. And in our abstract, why teenagers were being voiced out, because I believe maybe teenagers should be aware also of how ECCE centers centers are moving. They may not, they may see, if I ask my friends, like from my surveys, they think that they have enough EQ implementation in themselves. They feel like when they were in kindergarten, they have boosted their confidence. When they were in the kindergarten, they know how to communicate with people. But as you can see, when they grow up, they still cannot do that. When they grow up, they still cannot manage their stress. When they grow up, they still use technology in the wrong way. Maybe this is because of a very not a very unstrong base when they were in kindergarten. That's in our opinion. Thank you.
Okay, I have questions. Actually, what theory that you use in your research about the EQ, okay, emotional intelligence? What theory you use? Are you mention? Do you mention before? No. Can you mention for us?
So for the EQ theory, we follow other successful developing countries because, like in my opinion and our opinion, Australia, we know they have they are high in emotional expression. This is because of their Victorian education system.
The answer is a short answer. Daniel Goleman. Okay. The theory behind the theory of the emotional intelligence is Daniel Goleman. You can use it when you write in the literature review. Okay. Then nowadays, do you hear about the student falling down from the school building? Is it came from the emotional intelligence? Is it come from the environment, or is it come from the childhood, or is it why? Can you correlate your research with this case by case? Increase about the student falling from school building. What's your interpretation? Can you tell us?
Well, in our interpretation, we believe maybe it may occur because of their surroundings, of their environment, maybe because stress, or maybe they don't know how to control themselves. That's why we think in the end it's all based on EQ. No matter how hard life comes at you, you have to find a way to control yourself. You have to find a way to face these challenges and in order to live a happy life.
Okay, that's the point. You can focus on your research, okay? Because the childhood, yourself is beyond your studies. So it's like I told you before, it's out of our control. But it's okay. That things we can share the knowledge. We can share the intents of your studies. It's okay. Okay, one thing. mm is the teenagers affected by the Korea drama? Are you agree with us? Also, all of us, we want to know, are they affected with the Korea drama in your life as a teenagers? Do you watch Korea drama? No.
Well, I don't, but my friend does. So, in my opinion, it could be yes, because as you can see, they put this Korean actress as their role model. So, in one age, when you see your role model who has a very successful life, but suddenly suicide, suddenly falls down a building, it seems like they don't know how to interpret with their problems, with their challenges. So maybe it could be also how they it could be one of the cause.
Okay, that's why maybe your solution as a SBP students, you must come out with something that digital tools that will comply with the social media, especially like the Korea drama and other thing. You must compete our solution with what the Western or the Eastern country give to is to that influence our emotional intelligence, especially for the student. Okay, okay, that's for me.
Thank you. Now let us hear from the second team, which is Pak Panang School, Thailand. Please welcome.
Good morning, all respected committee members.
We
are
are
My
My
Ranger
Ranger
team
team
from
from
Papana
Papana
School,
School, Thailand. Thank you. My name is Ailada Kelnuna.
My name is Paishat Noian.
My name is Nakoli Tibun.
We are pleased to present our research project, Path Forward AI Power Mental Health Support for a Student, under the theme Quality Education, Redefining Education for a Challenging World. Our project is built on concept that quality education is not only about academic success. Students must also be mentally healthy in order to learn, grow, and overcome challenges.
I think everyone here can all agree that today's world is more challenging than ever. Students are many starker. At the same time, they are expected to stay motivated and engaged in learning.
According to Thailand Department of Mental Health 2025, teenagers aged 15 to 19 had the high rate of suicide attempt and were at risk of depression, severe stress, and suicide. As you can see, students today face many challenges from academic pressure, future career concern, social adjustment, family issue to emotional struggle, and many more. More importantly, research has shown that poor mental health can negatively affect student engagement in learning. However, the school often focuses more on academic achievement than mental health, which lead to limited counseling professional in school. As a result, many students do not receive the care and support they need. Therefore, innovative and accessible mental health systems are needed.
Based on the current situation, we developed three research objectives. Firstly, to investigate mental health status of upper secondary students at Papana School. Secondly, to raise student awareness of how to manage challenges. And lastly, to develop a website to provide mental health service for students.
Next, let's walk you through our research process. First, we study reliable tools that can be used accessible mental support in terms of anxiety and depression. Next, we develop an AI counseling model. We have created a website to provide support and service. At this step, we have three main components.
After that, we use 35 random sampling to select students from different academic programs. The sample consists of 224 students. We also created evaluation tools to measure the effectiveness of both AI counseling model and the website. Next, we organized the workshop for students where they try out the AI counseling model and use the website. And finally, we collected the data through questionnaire. They then analyzed and interpreted the data.
Now, we will present the result by answering our research objectives one by one. For the first objective, we investigate the mental health status of students, which are GAD-7 to check anxiety level, PSS to check stress level, and PHQ to check depression level. Data results show that anxiety and stress affect half of the student. It's over 60% of students show a symptom depression. Um, it shows that many students facing challenges. So mental health support is important for our students.
For the second objective, we want to help students be aware of how to manage challenges in their lives. Today, AI is being used to help provide mental health support when access to counseling is limited. We create, we create a model that guides students through four-step problem, analysis, target, and healing, where students identify the problem, analyze the cause, set the target, and applying healing strategy. The model also includes 3 talk and 3 do, allowing students to choose communication style like professional therapy, mindfulness guru, or empathetic friend, an evidence-based therapeutic approach like cognitive behavioral, mindfulness based, or solution focused. This is an AI prompt used by students for counseling. And these were in workshop that we conduct. Students practice using AI for counseling.
Our final objective was to develop a website that provides mental health support for students at our school. The website has three main features to make mental health support accessible, confidential, and available anytime and anywhere. First, students can complete screening tools for anxiety, stress, and depression, and then they will receive immediate results. If the student finds that their mental health status is concerning, they are recommended to either use our AI counseling model for immediate guidance and coping strategies, or book an appointment with a school counselor through our website. This is the website we developed. It includes the homepage, mental health assessment, and AI recommendation, AI counseling guideline, and an online appointment booking system.
After participating in workshop, students evaluate the model using a 5-point scale questionnaire, and the results were positive with mean score of 4.15. Students felt that the AI provided relevant, practical, and supportive guidance, and used gentle and suitable language for mental health support. And after getting AI responses, students must evaluate in terms of ethics, bias, and relevance before applying.
To evaluate the website, we used a 5-point scale questionnaire. The results were very positive. Students found the website easy to use, the assessment result helpful, and the counseling service more accessible. They also show a strong intention to continue using the website in the future. Overall, the findings suggest that the website is user-friendly, useful, and effective in supporting student mental health needs. To conclude our study, for the first objective, the findings suggest that many students at our school are actually facing mental health issues. For the second and third objective, the findings suggest that the past model plus the talk, the tool, and the website are effective tools for supporting student mental health as they were positively evaluated. Recommendation. Although we clearly use AI platforms such as ChatGPT for counseling, future research could focus on developing our own chatbots based on the PATH model and the 3Talk, 3Tune frameworks. The chatbot should also be able to analyze the inputs to detect potential suicide risk in user.
As lastly, we would like to emphasize the core concept of our research. It check.
Understand.
Stop fraud.
Together, these three steps aim to empower students to take care of their mental well-being and build resilience in a challenging world.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right. First of all, congratulations for the excellent performance. All right. All right. You are mentioned about one of the solution of to overcome mental health support is using website. How are you website? Is it? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry. The question is based on the analysis that you have done. What is your next step after that? Is there any NGOs that link maybe that can help out maybe in the future? All right, that's the question.
Okay, so thank you for question. As after that, have is a data and uh, submits data from teacher physiology and confirm to hospital, and hospital about is physiology and mental health. Yes.
Hi. Yeah. Again, congratulations. This is very interesting. And my question is, since you developed your AI chatbot yourself, right? Could you please share with us the process? How did you develop? I mean, like what platform did you use? Did you use ChatGPT or whatever to develop your AI chatbot? And who collects the data? I mean, like who keeps all the data, all the input from the students who say that they are depressed and all? Who keeps the data? Because we are talking about youth, we are talking about minors also. So I want to know about that. Would you like me to repeat?
Yeah.
Um,
Is teacher from Pakistan school, right?
counseling a teacher, yes, about mental health in Papua school. And I learned with a teacher counseling at Papua school about mental health, right? Um, and I saw the new in district is the Q
Yes,
themselves.
answers I yes.
All right, thank you. Okay.
Yes, yes.
One question. Do you have any numbers? How many students use the counseling AI and how many users use the website? Do you have any numbers? Okay. The data.
Population is 271 people. Yes.
Oh no, the impact, the outcome of this intervention. Do you does the student use the counseling AI or the website that or how many person use the website to know to scroll and
Percent.
yeah, because this is good. You have developed the system. Then we want to know how many person that have used that system.
Okay, just a moment. About 60 to 80% use this website. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Panam School, Thailand. Now let's hear from third team. Please welcome SVP Integrasi Gopeng.
Ladies and gentlemen, artificial intelligence or AI is no longer a technology of the future. It is now an existing transformative force that has been reshaping the way we learn and the way we work. But before that, Assalamualaikum and a very good day I bid to our esteemed judges, the legend timekeeper, and not to forget everyone present today. My name is Nahwana Awatif along with my other team members, Aliadina and Iman Kaiser. We are from SBP Integrasi Gopeng, guided by our teacher supervisor, Miss Kong Suk Mei. And today we are very excited to present to all of you our research entitled Preparing Future Ready Graduates in the AI Era. And without further ado, I would like to invite my partner to explain more in a greater detail.
First of all, to make it very clear to all, we have clarified a few key terms from our research title, which is Higher Education, AI Era, and Human Skills. Now, let us all understand our background of study. Artificial intelligence has drastically transformed higher institutions. However, serious concerns remain about whether institutions are really preparing students for the AI-driven workforce. Therefore, past studies also warn that over-reliance on AI might harm independent thinking and authentic learning. More about artificial intelligence, it is regularly used by 70% of students nationwide. And with that, I'm passing it back to our team to elaborate more on the problem statement.
Now, despite the growing influence of AI, two important gaps remain. First, there is limited understanding of the essential human skills needed in the AI era, where most existing studies now, often focus on technical or digital skills. And secondly, there are lack of clear understanding of what role higher education plays in developing these skills. Now, the rapid development of AI is changing what employers expect for workers. And plus, existing higher education system nowadays may not be fully aligned with the current advancement of technology. Next, please. And because of this, three questions emerge. First, what are the essential human skills needed in the AI era? Second, what are the challenges brought by AI in the workforce? And third, what role does university play in developing these skills? Next, please. And based on this, our research is focused on three objectives. First, to explore students and lecturers' perception of AI-related career challenges. Second, to identify essential human skills needed in the AI era. And third, to examine the role of higher education in developing these skills. Our research is supported by Joseph On's humanist model, where he emphasizes on three core literacies needed in the AI era. He also highlighted 5 key human abilities needed in the era, which are critical thinking, creativity, emotional intelligence, adaptability, and ethical judgment. And with that, I will pass it back to my partner to explain more.
Now, moving on to our research methodology. We use both quantitative and qualitative method by interviewing 4 lecturers and distributed the questionnaire to 36 students. For our data analysis, we converted our quantitative data to mean and standard deviation. And for our qualitative findings, we analyzed our interview transcript. Now, we have chosen our study area, University Technology Petronas, located in Seri Iskandar, Perak. And this is the background of the universities. Now, let's have an overview of our data findings. And I'll first show you the qualitative data from the interview, in which we have interviewed 4 lecturers from different departments by asking them a few questions. Firstly, we asked them on how AI is changing the future career landscape. They responded by saying that AI is not replacing jobs and AI is just reshaping jobs. The job market is shifting from job-based to skill-based. This is because AI can do repetitive tasks faster than humans. Next, we also asked them about the major challenges. They responded by saying that AI could allow one worker to complete a task previously done by 5 people. This will limit creative thinking. Leading to passive thinking in workers. Next, we also asked them if AI could open new opportunities for graduates. They responded by saying that AI could open new job opportunities, such as from engineers and data validators. Plus, students could access world-class knowledge for free. For example, reading a book from University of Cambridge online while sitting in Malaysia. Now, on identifying the essential human skills needed in this AI era, most of the lecturers agreed on the 3 C's, which are critical thinking, curiosity, and creativity. But Why are these skills labeled as important? These skills are labeled as important because, in their opinions, no matter how advanced AI is, they can't replicate emotional intelligence. Plus, if humans stop critical thinking, AI will only recycle existing data. Now, moving on to the next question, we ask them, how do students use AI effectively while still developing these essential human skills? They responded by saying that students need to use critical thinking and ethical judgment when validating AI answers. This is because students need to compare answers from different inputs that they put in AI, since AI might give biased answers. Next, on examining the role of higher education in developing these essential human skills, universities are reminded to provide opportunities for real-life social engagement for students, where students must think for themselves and AI remains just as an assistant. Next, they also asked about the teaching and assessing methods. They responded by saying that traditional teaching methods are dead. Thus, process-oriented assessment should be done by conducting an oral examination to test students' real understanding about the topic. Next, we asked them about, as students increasingly use AI in education, how did the role of the lecturers change? They responded by saying that lecturers should not just be lecturing, they should instead be a facilitator by asking students good questions to know about students' real knowledge. Now, they also recommend universities to not blindly accept or ban AI in education. Instead, they must redesign curriculum by integrating AI to ensure a great collaboration between students and AI. Now, they also left some advice for students. Students are reminded to use common sense and practice lifelong learning. Students are also reminded to not asking too many personal questions while using AI. And with that, I'm passing it back to our team to explain more on the quantitative data.
We will now move on to the quantitative data, which were collected through the questionnaire responses, which were distributed through Google Form to a total of 36 respondents. Most respondents reported using AI often, mainly for information summarization and completing assignment. Now, moving on to our first objective-related question, exploring the perception of AI-related challenges in the AI era. Now, before I would like to go to the findings, I will like to briefly clarify how the data was analyzed. We used mean to determine the average level of agreement among respondents. We also use standard deviation to measure how much responses differ from one another. And with that, going back to our findings, most students agree that AI is reshaping job requirements. Next, please. Next, they find the most clear challenge brought by AI is over-reliance. Next, please. Now, for our second objective, identifying essential human skills needed in the AI era. We got these 6 skills from Joseph On's humanist model, and based on this question, all 6 skills recorded mean scores above 4.20, which indicates that students see all of these skills as very important. Next, please. However, students reported lower competency in all of these skills, with creativity being the lowest. Next, please. Now, by comparing these 2 questions, we found the largest gap in critical thinking and creativity, where this suggests that even though students see all of these skills as very important, they feel less confident in having them. So why do they say so? They stated that, technology often provides them with instant answer, which give them less opportunities to sharpen their own skills. Next, please. They also stated that all of these skills are very important because they are needed for humans to make better decisions and adapt to a fast-changing situation. For our third objective, examining the role of higher education in developing these essential human skills. Please. Now, students suggest that universities play a crucial role in developing these skills. Next, please. And they also suggested that a university should focus more on collaborative work and experiential learning. They also specifically recommended AI literacy as a mandatory subject regarding the course. And therefore, I'll pass it back to my partners to explain more.
Now, the awaiting discussion sessions has arrived, in which we'll be talking about 3 aspects, starting with the AI challenges. 1. AIs are still struggling with empathy and cultural awareness. Second, instant outputs from AI allow students to skip the thinking process. Thirdly, education
move too slowly compared to AI rapid advancement. And lastly, over-reliance on AI weakens students' cognitive skills. Now, the importance of human skills. Humans should prioritize unique human skills that algorithms cannot replicate. And empathy and communications are important. Thirdly, humans should prevent repetitive patterns from AI by practicing critical thinking. Now, moving on to the next, which is role of higher education institutions. Firstly, humans should universities should be a centers for human adaptability. Next, universities should provide certifications for AI fluency. And then, universities should align course content with current problem. And universities should expose students with current technologies. Now, I'm pleased to Awatif to explain more about the conclusions.
We know that our time is already over, but please allow me 2 minutes to conclude our research. So, in this screen, what can you see? A Trojan horse. So, what is the relation between the Trojan horse and our research? We concluded that AI can be compared to the Trojan horse, where AI, just like the Trojan horse, is something an extraordinary gift to humanity, where it is very beneficial to us. However, most of us will bring it in our daily life too blindly without realizing the actual danger it brought. However, the real danger now here is not the Trojan horse or in this context AI, rather it is human. It is human laziness and over reliance. Next please. And for our next picture, it is the picture of the Trojan horse being embedded into humans. This symbolizes integration of AI in our daily life. We need to see that AI is not an enemy, but rather as our new mind, as something that helps humans grow. Next please. So what happens if we don't integrate AI efficiently? This image answers that question. The phrase AI is a mirror, not a light source, suggests that AI answers came from humans ourselves. Therefore, it is mirroring us. If humans do not contribute, do not give original thinking, therefore AI can only recycle what already exists. The phrase, we drink the dirty water of our own creation suggested that just like our thinking, if we continue to recycle our knowledge, it loses quality. And with that, I will end our presentation with a quote: "Master technology, not fear it." That's all from us. Thank you.
Now I would like to invite judges to ask questions.
Okay, hello, congratulations. This is an interesting research, I would say, and it's quite detailed. Okay, my question is, okay, as you have studied on this, right, about university students and all, how there is a lack of, there is a gap of critical thinking and such. So in your opinion, as a secondary school students yourself, how can you or the school or whoever, the stakeholders and whoever can prepare current youth, okay, future university students to have better or higher critical thinking skills?
Okay, so to answer that question, as a secondary school student myself, I do admit that I use AI, but I do not use it like fully. So how do I practice my critical thinking? Is by when I ask AI for answers, we need to recheck it. I will recheck it, and therefore I will find the wrongs and rights in the answer, and I will improve more my critical thinking.
First, I believe that before we use AI, we must actually have the idea first. We can't blindly use AI like AI help me do the homework. No, no, no. We need the idea first, and then we give the idea to AI, and AI just help us to elaborate more. That's how we explore. That's why we enhance our creative thinking.
Short question and short answer. Okay, your data shows that the concern of the impact AI is 3.49. Right? Okay. What is your idea to overcome this concern? Because from the average of the overall the data, this is the lowest number from the data. Or you want to show us what slide? Too many slide. Okay, back. 3.49. The concern of the impact AI. Back again. Again. Okay, you can just answer. It's okay. No. Yes, that. All right. Could you elaborate to us what is your team idea to overcome this concern? Because they are not the data that not show is so important to concern. Okay. It's
In my,
okay. It's okay. Use the AI. So you have any idea?
in my personal opinion, actually parents should start getting their kids know about AI ever since they're a children, ever since they're a kid. And in my opinion, teachers should tell students about the concerns about AI, like what's the importance of AI usage and what's the pros and cons of AI usage. Students should know about AI starting from kindergarten, starting from an early age.
Your role as an ambassador. You are the ambassador today. What's your advice to us? How to concern about the impact? What do you have any idea or solution for that from your part, not your teacher's part?
As a student nowadays, I would like to I would like to tell my friends about the concerns of AI. I'll tell them like, oh, they can't blindly use AI like that. They need to brainstorm their own ideas, and they need to practice their own creativity before using AI.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now I would like to invite SVP Integrasi Jempol to present. Please welcome.
Yes. Years ago, educators relied on traditional methods. A teacher's existence revolved around a dirty edge of his wooden desk and the steady scratching sound of white chalk on a blackboard. Lessons were born in that room, immortalized through the written words and the voice of one person only. Redefining education isn't just about adding tablets to classrooms. It's about shifting the goal of school from producing workers to cultivating resilience, ethical thinkers who can navigate a world that hasn't been invented yet. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. All praise belongs to the Almighty, the architect of time and opportunity for convening us in this space today. Honorable judges whose wisdom guards the integrity of this forum, our vigilant timekeeper, our esteemed moderator, and this brilliant assembly of minds. Good afternoon. Today, we are honored to represent Jempol Integrated School of Negeri Sembilan. We are not merely gathered here to exchange words, but to ignite a conversation that has stayed silent for too long. It is truly inspiring to stand with you today as we explore further into Future Ready Classroom, redefining education for a challenging world. By the end of this presentation, the meaning behind our title, Beyond the Horizon, will be clear. To be ready means changing the student's role from a consumer to a creator. Instead of simply consuming information from textbooks, student must be redefined as a creator who build projects and design solutions. Before we move any further, allow me to introduce my team, starting with our beloved teacher advisor, Ms. Norzati Farahia. Next, the presenter, which is me, Kadisha, our technical assistant, Ari Hafi, and our moderator, Daini Fakiha. Ladies and gentlemen, when we discuss about the future of education, we often talk about preparing students for a digital first world. But the harsh reality is that the student's geography currently dictates their academic capability. As highlighted in Utusan Borneo Online Report, the Ministry of Education has identified a glaring equity gap. Rural students lack opportunities to develop digital skills.
Despite the rapid growth of technology in education, rural schools face a double-edged challenge in the modern educational landscape. First, the gap between technology and the adaptability, such as cultures, languages, and skills that limited the adoption in technologies. Second, rural schools face a critical shortage of tech-trained educators. As a result, rural students are left at significant disadvantage compared to their urban peers, widening the inequality gap between technology and education. Now moving on to our methodology. When tackling a complex research question, relying on just one source of information rarely gives you the full picture. So that's why this study uses three-pronged approach to map out the entire landscape of our topic, combining in-depth interviews, news analysis, and mixed method surveys. As you might be wondering, why do we choose this topic? It's because the future of Malaysia isn't just built on the infrastructure itself, it is built inside the classroom. The main purpose of our research is to examine how Malaysia can modernize teaching to align with the technological advancement, ultimately ensuring our nation transitions into a fully developed country by every sense of the word.
While most of us take instant connectivity for granted, billions of people out there are still cut off from modern technology. It isn't a lack of interest, it is a matter of geography and economics. Let's take a look at two big hurdles, the harsh landscape and the last mile supply chain premium. My dearest audience, why are we doing this? Our primary objectives are, first up, to investigate the primary barriers such as financial, social, and technical barriers that currently hinder the successful adoption of AI in rural classrooms. Next, this journey begins with an honest assessment of our current status. We need to identify the current status of digital infrastructure, such as high-speed internet and hardware distribution, to see if they can truly support AI-driven tools. And lastly, we want to find out exactly how AI implementation can benefit our youth. By determining the training needs as well as integrating these tools, we can help both students and educators regarding the ethical and the functional use of artificial intelligence.
Recently, we've conducted an in-depth interview with one of the teachers from a school in a rural area. A response we received was about AI and tech relevance. Our respondent, Ms. Shamim, told us that the usage of AI in her classroom are mostly used by the well-off students due to their IT literacy and knowledge.
What you are looking at right now is the response that we got from the Google form to survey the AI implementation in school nowadays. As you can see, the majority of the respondents, 65.6% of students are rarely attend IT-related course, and most of them are seldomly use AI for education. However, if you ask them about their feelings to join or participate in AI and technology courses, it can be pictured that most of them are very excited to join or participate in their said course if they ever had a chance to. Moving on, so what should we do if the rural communities don't even have the basic device to get online? This is where digital navigator initiatives, mini grids, and energy storage systems steps in. For the digital navigator initiatives, instead of just simply handing out a manual, they take a holistic approach. They focus on three main things: sourcing the actual hardware, setting up internet access, and providing hands-on in-person support.
Moving on to mini grids and energy storage systems. To break it down, these are small-scale decentralized electricity distribution systems that store, supply, and generate power to localized users. Alongside these, energy storage systems also capture and save electricity for later use, acting as a bridge between supply and demand. And second, it can save a lot of electricity for any education purposes and ensures that not a single watt of electricity will come to waste. Other solutions that can be implemented to this are micro hydro and hybrid microgrids. Now let's take a dive into programs and NGOs. LDP programs, or known as Latihan Dalam Perkhidmatan, is an essential course for teachers to teach and learn even beyond the classroom settings. By implementing our solution, which is the Digital Navigators Initiative, into these programs, we can reach out to students more efficiently.
Moving forward, let's take a look at YTL Foundation. By collaborating with YTL Foundation, we could utilize existing Teach for Malaysia as living labs. Other than LDP program, Teach for Malaysia also played a role in ensuring Malaysia's education is on par with quality of education, as well as building a movement of leaders for a brighter Malaysia. In light of the fact that Teach for Malaysia also played a role in also runs a hands-on workshop to teach or train teachers to use technology dynamically. If we look through the Teach for Malaysia websites, we could see that they also raising funds to help government on their budgets for education. Now, let's turn our attention to Cerdik Initiative and the Yayasan Hasanah. This initiative is a Malaysian National Corporate Social Responsibility Program managed by Yayasan Hasanah as the Secretariat. It was launched to bridge the digital learning gap for school students from low-income families B40 across the country. To achieve this, the initiative is built on strong partnerships. In conclusion, every student deserves access to quality education regardless of where they live. By providing adequate facilities and support, we can bridge the educational gap between urban and rural communities and ensure that no child is left behind. As we work together to achieve SDG 4 quality education, we are not only investing in students' future, but also building a stronger and more inclusive nation. Let us take these meaningful steps today so that every learner can dream bigger,
Achieve greater and move beyond the horizon. Thank you to all the audience members for lending your ears and giving your attention to our presentation. Members of the floors, a wise man once said, if we teach today's students as we taught yesterday, we rob them of tomorrow. And with that, we'll end our presentation with
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Now I would like to invite judges to ask questions.
All right. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. Okay.
Waalaikumsalam.
Yeah. Congratulations for the excellent presentation. I haven't heard the bell rang yet. It's like short and sweet. So far, you are the first group to present like this. Right. Your interview methodology is like one of them is interview, right?
Yes.
May I know the reason of choosing the teacher only as the interviewer? There's no slot for students or whatsoever. Is there any slot for the reason why you choose only teachers as your respondent?
Allow me to answer the questions. So we target the education community such as the educator and the students in the rural areas, such as Miss Shamim, which is the educators at the SMK in Sarawak. So we ask them to get the visual of what we can get the visual of the surroundings and get the picture and ideas of what are lacking in the rural schools and so on. So as for the students, we also open the questionnaires in the Google form and target the students at the teachers rural school at Sarawak, and at the Peninsula Malaysia we targeted the rural school around Selangor and Negeri Sembilan. Yes.
Okay, another question. So regarding your Google form, right? You use Google form. So you mentioned about Peninsula respondents are different from Sabah and Sarawak respondents, betul? Right?
Actually, we combine those two.
Those two, okay.
Yes.
So how did
combining.
you ensure that your respondents are genuinely from those demographics? Because you're
Repeat?
talking about rural school, right? So you need opinions or feedbacks from those who are really experiencing the situation. So how did you ensure that the information that you got are genuine or authentic in terms of data? I mean, like anybody can answer your Google form, even someone from KL, semua tu, faham tak? So how did you ensure your authenticity or data validation and stuff?
Okay, so we have our teacher advisor. She had a friend that got posted to some of the rural school areas, and she asked them about the surroundings and the what are they lacking of the technology, and they having a hard time using technologies in their rural schools. So the our teacher advisor friends uh, share the link also with their kids and their students at the rural school. That's
Can you show us the slide referring to the energy bridge? Yeah. Could you explain more to us? What is actually the energy bridge? The solution. Is it have a correlation with your studies or research? Energy storage system, yes. Sorry.
okay.
How it related to your studies? I cannot.
Okay, so as you know, at the rural school, we face what do you call it, the online problems. So technology can't be used if we don't go online. So we actually combine this energy storage system and we relate it to the rural school so that it can boost the power around the rural school to get better connectivity to the outside world, as they are marginalized. Yeah, as they are marginalized.
So this is your idea or your that you see beyond 10 or 15 years like that, or can we apply it
What do you mean?
next? Can we apply this system on the spot or what? Because this is your solution or your ideas for the next 5 to 10 years.
Okay, so these are our ideas, the micro hydro and hybrid microgrids that actually uses the renewable energy such as streams, that running streams that can generate electricity and boost the connectivity.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now I would like to invite Sekolah Menengah Sains Kuala Selangor to present.
There are an estimated 400,000 students, kids with disabilities in Malaysia, but only 80,000 of them are able to receive education and even less actually do. Is it fair for this to happen? Let's ponder on that. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. My name's Amir and supporting me is Umama and Alicia, and welcome to our presentation, Beyond the System, Assessing Barriers in Special Needs Education. Let's set the stage. Firstly, what is a future-ready classroom? It's basically a space that empowers all kinds of youth to drive positive social changes that prioritizes collective community improvement over an elite few to forge a resilient generation and future. Secondly, what is special needs education? According to UNESCO, special needs education are educational approaches designed to support specific learners who require additional assistance or adapted teaching methods due to their physical, intellectual, emotional, behavioral, or social challenges. This process includes two types of students, which are students with special educational needs, or SEN for short. Keep in mind that these students don't necessarily have disabilities, but require different learning methods for them to progress. Examples of this include dyslexia, ADHD, and autism. Secondly, is students with disabilities, among which are physical disabilities like spinal cord injuries and cerebral palsy, sensory disabilities like blindness and deafness, and also cognitive disabilities like Down syndrome and other developmental delays. Hence, why do we choose special needs education as the main topic of our presentation? This is because of the increasing number of special needs individuals that is being identified is higher than ever before. This means there's an unprecedented surge in demand for special education, and why must this be addressed? Quoting the Mahtam Abdullah, which is the Youth Sudan advocate for youth, education is a fundamental right for every child, where under SDG 4 are set targets focusing on giving equal education access for everyone, including to persons with disabilities and also special educational needs. However, many of these children are often left behind when we still forget that they are still a part of our future. Let's dive into the major problem statement that is the social and physical barriers that exist inside of society and special needs education system hinders special needs individuals the opportunity to an independent, meaningful life. However, to address this problem, let's first understand our research objectives. Firstly, to identify existing barriers inside of the special needs education system. Secondly, to justify the need for the effective special needs education to ensure the long-term success of special needs individuals. And lastly, to advocate for positive changes to improve the special needs education system. As for our methodology, we have applied a mixed methods approach involving qualitative and quantitative measures to ensure a holistic data collection process. The research instruments we have utilized include interviews, a quantitative questionnaire, and also various sources of multimedia on the internet. As for our human sources, we have conducted several interviews with specialists on occupational therapy for SEN children, which is Mr. Shamsul, government teachers involved in the Integrated Special Education Program PPKI, which are Mrs. Zarina and Mrs. Norlela, both with decades of experience in the system, parents of SEN children, which are Mrs. Tursina and Mrs. Pauja, and also a branch manager of a private therapy center Playhouse TTDI, which is Mrs. Farida. As for our questionnaire, we have covered 164 responses where we ask questions regarding the general awareness of special needs education and people who they know are inside of the system, the satisfaction and the challenges that they faced. As for multimedia, on the other hand, we've conducted and scoured through various places on the internet, such as past research, government websites, and also community forums for us to gather new information and expand our horizons on our topic. So let's move on to the most important part, our findings and analysis. Based on the data collected, there are three major barriers that exist inside of special needs education. The biggest one, with 46% of our questionnaire respondents choosing so, is social expectations or stigma. We've concluded that it comes from three factors: fear, shame, and pity. Unknowingly, this fear happens because of differences in mental and physical characteristics, where these individuals experience isolation because of the differences in how they act, look, and speak. Shame, on the other hand, where we can see more often than not, parents are ashamed to have children who they deem as not normal like other kids. What happens is that undiagnosed students will lead until adulthood where they will have self shame because they see themselves as someone that's different. Thirdly, pity. Many individuals often experience an expression of sadness or a look of worry because of them being deemed as incapable, when in reality, they can strive like others too. Ultimately, these three factors leads into ableism, a discrimination towards special needs individuals in society, education, and the workforce, where it can happen unintentionally, like when your eyes linger on them for too long in the mall, and also intentionally, like when you deny them of jobs because of their disability. This also hinders them from receiving proper inclusive education in schools, where 63% of these individuals experience bullying, which is 2 to 3 times more than non-SEN students. This is the invisible killer that they have to deal with. Moving towards the second barrier, with 31% of our questionnaires responding choosing so, is a teacher shortage. You see, special education teachers require skills like patience, childcare, and also proper education in the field. And the lack of these teachers is most prominent in government schools, where the ratio between teachers and students is 1 to 7. And the reason why this occurs is because of the disinterest of graduates in pursuing teaching in special education, and also a qualification problem where existing teachers don't have that proper qualifications, leads to more misconduct occurring. This means that the remaining heroes without capes in these schools are often overworked, underpaid, and burdened. The third issue, with 19% of our respondents choosing so, is the inadequate facilities in classes and also in rooms. What happens is because of the absence of things such as ramps, sensory tools, and also signs, it leads to a high risk of injuries, absenting from school, isolation, and also a non-conducive class environment. However, all of this leads us into the key findings of our research, where we find for solutions that can overcome these barriers that can be implemented by all schools. Do you believe us when we say it starts from a classroom? Let's introduce to you the dynamic classroom, where it is fun, interactive, and engaging, where we believe that these classrooms are spaces that empower children's education and goes beyond the four walls of a traditional classroom. This includes two methods, which are community-based learning, where these schools are able to connect what they are able to teach these students with, like going on trips such as to fire stations, dentists, and also zoos, and also the outdoor learning, where these students are being brought into the surrounding environment, such as the school's garden or field. This helps to provide inclusivity by providing proper integration with all students in this compound, which also leads to interaction with society that reduces the negative stigma and proper child development, where these people are able to learn from hands-on experiences, which induces curiosity and increases happiness. However, this is where our recommendations come in, because we believe that there are still other things that we can do. For these teachers in special education sector can adopt and attend to skill workshops, adopt the modern teaching techniques to improve the overall education quality of these students. As for our community, they can spread awareness through campaigns and also create more SEN-friendly spaces for better integration. And our government is able to provide better pay for special education teachers, and also give a concrete framework for these special education and give more incentives towards special education schools. In conclusion, this presentation is not merely just an elaboration on special needs education, However, it advocates for people who can't receive education, who can't get jobs, and live normally like all of us. This is our tribute to them. Thank you for listening to our presentation.
Now I would like to invite judges to ask questions.
Congratulations. Okay. Do you have any literature review that we can refer? It in your slide. Do you have any literature review? Or any citation?
Yes, we do have the literature review for the citations. As being mentioned, where in our multimedia, we search on the literature reviews, also on like scholarly articles.
Is it written in your research?
Yeah.
The
it is.
theories or what we can refer?
We reviewed literature articles where they talked about special educational needs and whether how it is how it impacts the child itself lah. Yeah.
Because your research is about the special needs and disabled student, right? And your solution about the dynamic classroom, right? So it better when you can write in your research what is the theories or the article or the research before that tell us this is a good combining, a good relation about the student that have this disabled and this disabled and the dynamic classroom.
Yeah.
Your solution must be referred to the any research that
Can I
that
show you
thing.
on the slide? Can you please go back to the slide? Cannot put on this clicker. Wait.
Menarik.
Can you go to the dynamic classroom part, please? There is dynamic classroom part. We'll show you. Next, please. Okay, here, there. So these are where they integrate community-based learning and also outdoor-based learning, and how it actually makes the child integrate with their surroundings, their society, and community too. Yeah. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Now I would like to invite the sixth team of today's session, which is College Tunggu Kursha. Please welcome.
The real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new landscape, but in having new eyes. These words by Marcel Proust, one of the most influential writers of the 20th century, challenge us to rethink what true innovation really means. Representing Tunku Kusha College, we present our project to you under the theme Youth at the Helm, steering the world towards a resilient and sustainable future under SDG 4, Quality Education, or as we call it, Beyond the Looking Glass, Reimagining Inclusive Education for Neurodivergent Learners. A very warm greeting to our esteemed panel of judges, dedicated moderator, efficient timekeeper, and all members of the floor. Before we continue our journey down the rabbit hole, allow us to introduce the minds behind this project. First up, I'm Kalisa as the presenter, alongside Mia as our moderator, Zara as our repertoire, and lastly, Miss Irina as our teacher supervisor. To understand why this issue matters, you must first understand the world our students are living in today. Education often rewards students who fit one way of learning, but we need to note that not every student fit in the same mold. This is why our project focuses on neurodivergent learners. Neurodivergent learners refers to the term which people whose brain process, learns, and respond differently from what is considered typical. This may include students with autism and also students with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder ADHD and specific learning disorder SLD and other cognitive differences. In our project, we highlight 5 key strengths of neurodivergent learners through our acronym SPARK. S stands for system thinking, P stands for pattern recognition, A stands for attention to detail, R stands for resourceful creativity, and lastly, K stands for keen focus. From Greta Thunberg to Beatrice Young, their success reminds us that the question is not whether neurodivergent learners are capable, but whether our education system is capable of recognizing and supporting that potential. And that's exactly the question our project seeks to answer. And so, down the rabbit hole we go, not into fantasies, but into the realities of inclusive education in Malaysia. Many neurodivergent learners face a double barrier in school, whether it is educational disadvantage in the classroom or a social exclusion beyond it. However, it's important to note that Malaysia has not ignored this issue. In fact, the government has put up several initiatives to support the students through programs like Program Pendidikan Khas Integrasi, PPKI, and also Program Pendidikan Inklusif, PPI. However, this then prompts a key question. If such initiatives are already in place, why are there so many difficulties still persist? Is there any way for us to mitigate it? Well, this is why we introduced our research methodology. We know that we had to look beyond policy and examine what is happening on the ground. Firstly, we grounded our research on academic literature and existing education policies. This is to ensure that our understanding of neurodivergence and inclusive education was both research-based and policy-informed. Next, we interviewed key stakeholders whose insight was central to our research. This included Madam Atika, a parent representative, Madam Pauzia, a teacher representative, and then Dr. Ramli, a child psychiatrist, and lastly, Madam Sri Aina Liana, a KPM officer of the special education sector under KPM. Lastly, we surveyed mainstream students in a school with a PPKI program to better understand how inclusion is actually reflected in daily life. At first, the responses were encouraging. Many students expressed support for helping neurodivergent students, suggesting that at the level of belief, they do recognize that these students deserve equal opportunity, support, and participation. However, significant number of students reported hearing others speak badly about PPKI students behind their backs. Many also shared about the fact that they had few or no close friendship with students from the PPKI program themselves. In other words, inclusion may be accepted in principle, but it's not always reflected in daily interaction. The issue right now is not whether students believe in inclusion or not, but whether the school systems are actually creating the condition for inclusion to truly take place. Across our findings, one thing became clear. Despite the existence of PPKI and PPI program, the inclusive education in Malaysia is still being held back from reaching its full potential. And so, in true Wonderland fashion, we found three locked doors standing in the way of meaningful inclusion. Let us unlock them one by one, shall we? Our first door reveals teacher shortages. As the number of MPPK students continues to increase, the demand for inclusive education grows as well. However, the number of trained teachers and specialists has not increased at the same pace. As a result, teachers face heavier workloads while also managing lesson preparation and administrative tasks. Inclusive education also requires additional planning and coordination, leading teachers to actually adapting lessons and monitoring students' progress. Moving on, behind our second door lies weak teacher collaboration. Inclusive education depends heavily on strong teamwork between parents, teachers, and specialists. However, communication barriers often prevent important information about students from being shared effectively. Differences in understanding of neurodivergence needs and expectation between stakeholders can lead to inconsistent support strategies. At the same time, when teachers actually face heavier workloads, this will increase the teachers with limited time to collaborate, while unclear roles and responsibilities can further weaken coordination. Our last door reveals rigid learning environment. Many classrooms are still designed around broad disability labels where students with the same diagnosis are expected to learn in similar ways. This will then create generalized teaching strategies instead of personalized learning. In reality, we all know that every neurodivergent learner has different strengths, needs, and also their interests. And then, secondly, there are no structured opportunities for interaction to even occur. Ladies and gentlemen, this right now doesn't even affect the quality of education as well. It also affected the admission accessibility because now the admissions are going to be affected by the system limitation rather than the individual potential as a whole. This is where our idea of a future-ready classroom begins. Our goal is simple. Every student should be able to learn in the least restrictive environment that still allows them to succeed. Like what Alicia Cara said, in Scars, you're beautiful. And you don't have to change a thing, the world could change its heart. We believe that the school and classroom should also be willing to change, to become more flexible, to become more compassionate in the way they support students. So with that in mind, we would like to invite you into our solution. Drumroll please, the Wonderland Learning Ecosystem. The Wonderland Learning Ecosystem is an AI-powered support platform designed to strengthen inclusive education in Malaysia. It consists of three key features. Our first feature is the individualized education program. Firstly, it generates personalized learning summaries. Teachers can now quickly understand a student's learning preferences and support needs. Secondly, it also generates a daily feedback system. Teachers can record what worked, what did not, and how the student responded over time quickly and more efficiently. Secondly, lesson adaptation. This feature generates differentiated learning pathways based on each learner's needs. It can adapt worksheets and classroom assignment without requiring teachers to redesign everything from scratch. Secondly, it also offers high ability adaptation to develop talent by identifying key strengths of each learner, such as focus or creativity, and nurturing them to talents that can be further refined. And then our third feature is the Inclusion and Collaboration Hub. Teachers now not only can progress their academic progress, but they can also track their social participation. It can recommend practical strategies such as buddy system and also classroom interaction prompts between mainstream and PPI students. And then secondly, it also enables real-time communication between teachers, parents, and specialists, allowing everyone to work from the same information rather than separate assumptions. Or of course, even the strongest solution means very little if it cannot be realistically implemented. That is why the Wonderland Learning Ecosystem is designed to do just that. At policy and funding level, our implementation would involve the Ministry of Education Malaysia under the collaboration of Special Education Division, the Information Management Division, and also the Educational Technology Division. Secondly, in terms of delivery, our proposal is to integrate our platform into Dilemma 2.0, which is already an existing national digital learning platform. We believe that this makes implementation more cost-effective, more realistic, and more capable for nationwide use. With the implementation of this platform, students will now have stronger academic outcomes. They will also have increase in confidence and sense of belonging. Then they also have better social integration. In community, the stigma around them will gradually decrease, and on Malaysia as a whole, we're able to unlock a hidden talent and potential, and therefore becoming a future-ready society. When every classrooms become ready for every learner becomes ready for the future. I'm Pushri Kaisa, and let's follow our journey to build a better future for inclusive education. That's all from me. Thank you very much.
I would like to invite judges to ask questions.
Assalamualaikum. Very good afternoon. Sorry. All right. I think you have come up with an excellent presentation, and I really love how your presentation means it's pop out. It's like
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
it's like yeah, it's like watching a movie somehow.
Thank
All right. You mentioned about future-ready classroom, and one of them is lesson adaptation. Can you give one example of a lesson adaptation? And then how many have you done this one research, or how many lesson adaptation have come out? And is it suitable for any ages? Right, that's all.
I think one of the concerns that we highlighted in our project is that the students that are neurodivergent in the classroom are diverse. So they consist of students that look like they have attention disorders, ADHD, and then maybe they have autism. So that means that not all homework assignments can be used for different types of students. That's why we have these adaptations in place so that maybe these homeworks can look more visualized for students with attention disorders, or maybe students that have autism and can fixate on one specific thing over the other. These assignments can better cater to those needs of the students themselves. Does that answer your question? Thank you so much.
My question is, since you have proposed the ecosystem looking apa tadi? Sorry.
The
My
Wonderland
notes.
Learning Ecosystem.
Okay, beyond. Okay. So my question is, have you done a pilot test on this since you are proposing for funding and such?
Sorry?
And have you done any pilot run of this ecosystem? Since you are proposing funding and such under KPM tadi kan? So just
We're planning to integrate it into the Lima 2.0 platform, which is already an existing platform. For example, the Panda MOE, which is already an existing platform that has been implemented in certain schools. So with this, we believe that this platform, this AI solution, can be realistically implemented into every school.
So you haven't tried it in TSU
No,
yourself?
no, we haven't tried it yet, but we're planning to do it phasedly with pilot, evaluate, and see the outcomes. If it works and if there's any improvements that need to be added, then we will add into our solution.
Okay, I would like to share one thing. Okay, last time when I conducted a training with the leader, the school leader, one of them shared with me the real situation in her school. The situation is the school located in Penang. I don't want to mention what name. Then the PPKI student in that school about 150 student, and the school lack of the classroom, lack of the teachers, and lack of everything, but they have to survive to give the best for the PPI student, which 150. This is the real situation in our country, maybe in our country, maybe. Okay, so how you can align it with your Alice in Wonderland, your idea, and the real situation in our country.
I think I'd love to address that concern because that is actually one of our main concerns in this project, the fact that there are teacher shortages and classroom shortages. And I think what we want to do mainly is that we want to do the best with what we have, is that we want to ease in the process of these teachers that are already in the sector helping these students out, right? So while we address that there are some government initiatives to fund more teachers to go into the special needs sector, we want to be able to make this sector more inclusive and more appealable for these teachers to go into them in the first place. So that means that they have, you know, a better platform so that they can communicate better and yeah.
But I like your idea, the phase one. I think the how the teacher can deliver it. Can you show us the application, how they can use the new idea that you have share with us?
Sorry?
I like that idea. Maybe you can share with us after
wait,
this.
Atas. Sorry.
Door by door.
Oh.
Okay.
Here?
Okay, yes. This.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Mild autism, and you have another plan, right? This one. Okay. Strength, visual learners. Okay, it's good. I think you have another one. No,
Another one.
this is only.
Next.
Satu.
Oh, okay, next slide.
I like also the daily feedback. Daily
Yeah,
feedback.
yeah.
What is actually that thing? Can you share?
The
How can a teacher manage that thing?
Okay. I think the importance of having a daily feedback system is that it facilitates communication, because right now there are gaps between understanding between parents, teachers, and then PPM helpers in the PPKI and PPI classrooms. So when you have a daily feedback system, then everybody has access to that feedback system and can better cater to the needs of the students. Does that answer your question? Oh, how? Oh, basically on the platform there will be a specific there will be a daily feedback system. Like there's going to be a specific section there, and then the teachers, after maybe after a day or maybe after a week, after evaluating the student, they'll be putting in their feedbacks to be assessed by AI, and then the AI will be giving recommendations for them to further support the needs of the students, and this information will be available to teachers, to other teachers, to the administration, to parents, and other authorities. Does that answer your question?
Let me give you like an example to further your understanding. So for example, I give you Ahmad. Ahmad, he like right now, for example, he cannot read numbers from 1 to 20, for example. So when we have individualized education program and lesson adaptation, AI can generate like learning recommendations for Ahmad, and then for example, after like a month, the teacher sees a significant improvement in Ahmad. Like right now, after a month, he can finally count numbers from 1 to 20. So in this daily feedback system, right now, now parents can know that their child has improved in terms of counting numbers and all sorts of learning pathways.
Then the teacher can also apply that feedback for the next lesson.
Can I also add on as well? Oh no. Okay, all right. Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of our session today. Thank you all participants for the thought-provoking presentations, and thank you all judges for your time. That's the end of our session today. Thank you.